Hey YouTube, I'm here at the Docklands Museum in London because 1, I've got a great lock that I want to pick for you, and 2, because there's an exhibition that I really want to introduce you to. The museum is located in West India Quay, near Canary Wharf, housed in an original warehouse built in the early 1800s to handle the produce of Britain's slave plantations in the Caribbean. Later it was expanded to house goods produced in the East Indies, and was one of London's largest tea warehouses. Once inside, you'll find all manner of exhibits exploring London's history as a port, including objects speaking to the warehouse's working history, handling valuable cargoes from around the world, such as tea, tobacco, sugar, and rum. A reconstruction of how the streets of the area may once have looked to those that walked them, including a counting house and a blacksmith's. And this wrought iron gibbet, once used to hold the corpses of executed criminals as a warning to sailors, strung up alongside the Thames. But the reason I'm here is for the museum's London, Sugar and Slavery exhibit, which tells the largely forgotten history of London's involvement in this wicked trade, and the frankly incredible extent to which it profited from it. One of the things that struck me the most is the exhibit's use of language, which is carefully chosen so that the human impacts of slavery are felt keenly throughout. I think there are important lessons to learn from this, which can help with identifying and calling out practices which still thrive today. I had no idea the extent to which London had participated in and benefited from the enslavement and exploitation of African men, women and children. London was the 4th most important slave port in the world, and benefited more than any other from the profits of slavery. The brutality the enslaved Africans had to endure cannot be overstated, and is made perfectly clear by the historical evidence on display, such as the written account of a savage disciplinary beating, or this whip known to have been used to inflict a cruel and degrading punishment. Another revelation to me is the extent to which history has whitewashed the activities of historical figures, referring to them as collectors, philanthropists, and merchants, obscuring their involvement in one of the greatest crimes against humanity the world has ever known. Even the success of abolishing slavery in 1833 appears driven as much by economic considerations as social conscience. Slave owners were also compensated handsomely for what was termed their loss of property, and the subsequent apprenticeship arrangement for those that were formerly enslaved was every bit as wicked, if not more so. It's very easy to turn a blind eye to social causes, or to buy into a more palatable counter-narrative, but I implore you, particularly my fellow white Londoners, to beware of the blindness of the everyday, and to understand as much as never forget the lessons of the past. I'll leave some links below. Thanks for listening. Okay, so the lock I have for you this time is this Abus 6540. It's actually featured on the channel before, but I thought I'd come back to it. 1, because it really is a great lock for beginners, and 2, I haven't picked properly for a long while, so I need to get some practice in. And it's very good if you are trying to practice feedback on security pins. So we start on pin 1, which is a gatekeeper, and we get a false set. And then it's just a case of working our way through the lock, feeling for that counter rotation, sliding the pins home, and always checking back with that gatekeeper if you lose your false set, because that's typically what will have happened. When you slide a lock home, that pin will fall back, and you just need to keep on tapping on it. And eventually, going through that process of feeling for the feedback, because it helps if you remember where you are in the lock. And there's always a chance that a pin you've already set, if you're a bit heavy-handed, which is what I am at the moment, will fall back down. So we're just back on the gatekeeper, and there we are. That's an open. Perhaps not the cleanest picking in the world, but again, I can't recommend this lock enough for someone coming back into lockpicking, or someone new to lockpicking trying to get practice on security pins. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.